Thank you for the kind introduction. And thank you, Center for Contemporary Arab Studies and MISA Global Academy for hosting this event. Today, I will be sharing some thoughts on the relationship between the Houthi group in Yemen and the global and regional powers. And I hope my contribution will add value to our discussion. I will start with Saudi Arabia or the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Houthis and Yemenis in general. In fact, Saudi Arabia is supporting any authority in Yemen that doesn't threaten its national security or interest. And as you know that one of Saudi Arabia's main concern is its long and shared border with Yemen, stretching for more than 1,500 kilometers. So this border remains largely unsecured, and the growing relationship between the Houthis and Iran is seen as a major threat to Saudi sovereignty and regional influence. The conflict between Saudis and Houthis started in 2004, between 2004, 2009, or 2010, when Houthis started to attack the Yemeni army. And at that time, in 2004, the war broke down between the central government of Yemen and Houthis in the mountains of Sada, border with Saudi Arabia. And in 2009, Houthis started to attack Saudi territory, or especially the cities of Jazan and other areas. In 2010, 2011, as you know that there was a Yemeni peaceful revolution against the former regime. So at that time, because Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz was the person who is responsible for the Yemeni issues or Yemeni file. So he died at that time, and there in 2011, the government of King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz was trying to make a relationship with the Yemeni government, and he couldn't continue to make like some kind of relationships with tribal leaders, with other social groups and religious groups. And in 2011, there was a Gulf initiative by Saudis, and there was some kind of counter-revolution. And Saudis didn't take care of what is Houthi doing in the tribal areas in the North Yemen. In 2013, 2014, there was like some kind of relationship between the former President Ali Abdullah Saleh and Houthis, just to attack the tribal areas of Hashid and some areas which were like supporting the Islamic Party of Islah. In 2014, Houthis signed a power sharing, what at that time, unfortunately, they have like arrested our president in 2015, and they put the government under arrest. So, and they took over capital of Sana'a. Saudis couldn't do anything at that time. They cannot make any kind of a negotiation with Houthis to continue or to make some kind of power sharing with other political parties, because at that time Houthis became as the main actor in our country, Yemen. In 2015, Saudis started to attack the capital of Yemen, as you know, the Arab coalition led by Saudi Arabia and supported by the United States. The campaign included like airstrikes and ground operations. Also, Houthis started to attack Saudis and started to attack many other areas in south and eastern parts of Yemen. Saudis continuing to fight Houthis for more than 5 years. However, they couldn't defeat Houthis, and then they started to think of another strategy. There was also some kind of like pressure to seek a peaceful solution. And Saudis at that time, they have their own problems. I don't know what had happened at that time because the problem of Jamal Khashoggi and other problems. So Saudis started to find some kind of solutions or some kind of negotiation with Houthis, and Oman was the mediator between Saudis and Houthis. And it started to find like to follow the to follow diplomacy instead of fighting. In 2022, there was an initiative by the Special Envoy for Yemen. That initiative just there were three like conditions or three terms. Number one, to open the Sana'a airport, and also to easing the blockade on Hodeidah and ceasefire as well. In 2023, Saudis started to negotiate with Iran directly, and there was a Chinese mediation between Saudis and Iranian regime. And we have seen that agreement between Saudis and Iran. At that time, also, the ambassador of Saudi Arabia started to visit Sana'a, to visit Houthis. And there was like a roadmap to achieve peace in Yemen or to implement peace in Yemen. Houthis were just trying to sign that agreement with Saudis, not with the local actors, like with Southern Movement and other Yemeni political parties. They were trying just to sign the agreement with Saudis. However, Saudis rejected to sign any kind of agreement. They emphasized that there should be some kind of political agreement between the Yemenis themselves. Saudis will be like mediators. And in 2024, as you know, after October 7, we have seen a complicated issues, and the war between Israel and the innocent people of Palestine in Gaza started. Then Houthis, as a member of Iranian Axis, started to attack Israel and to attack the maritime in the Red Sea. And United States also told Saudis that we have to stop the roadmap. There will not be any kind of like political agreement between the Houthis and other Yemeni political parties until Houthis stop their attacks in the Red Sea. And Saudis couldn't join the American coalition to fight Houthis, and they said that we are neutral. We will not join any military alliance against Houthis at that time. And until this moment, Saudis are not a member of the American coalition against Houthis. That's all about Saudis, just in short about Saudis and Houthis. Let us now to speak about Iran and Houthis. We must, I think, understand the relationship between Houthis and Iran. In the early 2000 until around 2010, Iran supported the Houthi primarily through ideology and symbolic support, without providing much military help. And this changed after the Arab Spring in between 2011 and 2014, when Iran quietly increased its support. Through its goods force, Iran starting supplying weapons and training to the Houthis in a covert way. And Houthis adopted Hezbollah's strategies and slogans and methods, especially using Iranian support to build weapons locally inside Yemen. In 2015, after the Arab coalition, or after the conflict started between Saudis and Houthis, there was like military alliance and axis of resistance between Houthis and other non-state actors in the region with support of Iran. So in 2015, the relationship between Iran and the Houthis became like a strategic alliance. The Houthis became of Iran axis of resistance alongside Hezbollah and in Lebanon and other Shiite groups in Iraq and maybe in the Gulf state in Bahrain, but we couldn't hear anything from these groups in the Gulf states, especially in Bahrain and eastern parts of Saudi Arabia. Iran provided Houthis after 2015 with more advanced weapons, including drones, missiles, which helped the Houthis become a more serious regional military force. And since 2024, Houthis have been acting as Iran's primary proxy in the Red Sea. And they have started targeting ships, as I said, that linked to Israel, and are working more closely with Iraqi groups or militias. During the last year, Houthis' regional powers has grown because they adopted to support, or they started to support, as they mentioned, Palestinian people. So they received some kind of local support, regional support, because people in the Arab world, and even though in Yemen, think that or believe that innocent people in Gaza need some kind of support because there is some kind of massacre and genocide in these areas. Houthis started not only to make some kind of non-state actors in the region with Hezbollah and with other groups in Iraq, but also with ISIS and with other non-state actors in the Horn of Africa, especially in Somalia, with Al-Shabaab al-Mujahideen in Somalia. And Iran knows about this relationship. So now Iran has made the Houthis like the key part of its axis of resistance, especially after the killing of Hassan Nasrallah by Israel last year. It is very difficult right now to speak about the axis of Iran in the region, because Iran's partners in the region, especially the former regime of Syria, collapsed, and Hezbollah also, and now only they have Houthis, who are the main non-state actors in the region. And Iran now is trying to make some kind of negotiation with the administration of Trump, and we don't know about the outcomes of this negotiation. Maybe there will be some kind of escalation, or maybe there will be some kind of political agreement. We will discuss the scenarios of these negotiations later if we have time. Let us to speak about Houthis and the United States. It is very important in analyzing the relationship between the United States and the Houthis group. It is essential to approach the subject from several interconnected perspectives. First of all, we have to know that the nature of the soft relationship between the Houthis and the United States can be understood as an extension of the cooperative ties the U.S. had previously established with Shiite militias in Iraq. These groups, in Iraq, collaborated extensively with American forces, both during the overthrow of Saddam Hussein and later during the campaign against ISIS in 2014. Secondly, there was some kind of intelligence and security cooperation before the Houthis take over of Sana'a. The Yemeni intelligence agencies maintained a close cooperative security and information sharing relationship with American counterparts, particularly in the battle against Al-Qaeda in Yemen. And following the Houthis' capture of Sana'a and their subsequent control over state institutions, they effectively inherited this existing framework of cooperation and coordination. In 2014, when Houthis started to extend their military campaign in southern and eastern areas of Yemen, early indicators of the continuing cooperation appeared during the Houthis campaign in Al-Baida governorate. American drones provided air cover for Houthis forces targeting areas classified by U.S. intelligence as a stronghold of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. And then during the Obama administration, there was some kind of diplomacy, and United States was trying just to achieve some kind of agreement or political agreement between Houthis and Saudis, between Houthis and other Yemeni parties. However, that administrations couldn't achieve any kind of this. In 2018, there was a Stockholm Agreement. We know that at that time, the U.S. played a key role in pushing for the Stockholm Agreement, preventing the Yemeni government from retaking Hodeidah. And UN Special Envoy at that time convinced Saudi Arabia and the Yemeni government to agree to the deal. And then all these things, especially the agreement of Stockholm, allowed the Houthis to keep control of Hodeidah and gain political and military advantage. For the Houthis, the Stockholm Agreement was a strategic victory that enhanced their domestic and international standing. Now, under the Trump administration, we have seen in 2021, at the end of Trump administration, labeled them a foreign terrorist organization, and then Biden administration appointed another American special envoy for Yemen, Mr. King, Leader King, I think, and then was trying to negotiate with Houthis directly with support of Oman. And there was, as I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, some kind of roadmap or initiatives. However, all of these efforts have failed and couldn't do anything for Yemenis. And when Trump came to power, and this year he started to attack Houthis, and now for more than 1 month and 15 days, still the American military campaign continues against Houthis. We don't know about outcomes of this military campaign. However, we have to understand that maybe there will be something after the visit of Trump to the region. In conclusion, I want to say that the Houthis have missed many chances for peace and are now weaker due to U.S. military strikes. Saudis still prefer a peaceful solution. And the visit of King Khalid bin Salman to United States before the American military campaign against Houthis, and during the American military campaign against Houthis to Tehran. And this means that Saudis still Saudis are still trying to find some kind of peaceful solution for the conflict. And maybe I think things will shift after Trump's visit this month. Talks between Iran and the US might move forward, and Israel could stop its military actions in Gaza. And Houthis right now are in a challenging position. Any move they make could be risky, pushing them out and ending their political project in Yemen and the region. And risky options, I think, for Houthis at this time, they could attack American military bases in the region, especially in the Gulf regions, or the interests of Americans or Saudis, or maybe United Arab Emirates, or try to fight for more control in Marib. But all these choices are dangerous and could backfire badly. So right now, we have to wait for the visit, and we will see all the options on the table. Maybe we will see some kind of military escalation. We will see some kind of negotiation or peace agreement. But we have to wait until we see the outcomes of the Iranian and American negotiations in Muscat, and the visit of Trump to the region, especially to Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states. Thank you so much. That's all. I'm very happy if there are some questions related to this topic, I can answer them. Thank you.